Hey, amazing humans. It's Matilda Morgan speaking. I'm the holistic stylist and also CEO and founder of Expansive Direction. And today, gate number 1 comes into transit, and this is an incredible gate. It's the creator. So I want to talk about this. And if you've got this in your profile, then that's incredible. You can learn how to get insights into how to bring it more to the front or become aware of it and neutralize it. And if it's not in your profile, you can also notice that as well. So we are all things, but if it happens to be in your profile, it's just like the path of least resistance that we can take advantage of. Very, very cool. So the creator, it comes into transit today. So this is gate 1, the creative in human design. It channels with 8, which is inspiration, the inspiration channel. The I Ching is creation. So just picture this is like number 1. It's like the big boom in the galaxy, creation, right? So it's a Scorpio. In the IDS method, this is the visual archetype, the Jungian archetype of creator. And the color palette is usually bright and dark, so they're a bit more masculine, authoritative version of this. Their texture is a mid, and the silhouette tends to be masculine, and they don't tend to wear small patterns. It tends to be bold patterns or none. So in Gene Keys, the shadow is entropy. Entropy, did I say that right? The gift is freshness, and the city is beauty. So this gate is incredible. And as I said, this is about the, that first instant, that spark that ignites everything. So people with gate 1, and I've actually got it in my Pluto. So I'm going to do another video on what that means, how you can use your Pluto to actually help create and speak to your niche audience in business. It's very cool. So this is my Pluto gate. So this is my niche audience. So these are driven by the curiosity and love of creation. So they're always innovating. So this person is always seeking and wanting to do things differently. They're wanting to innovate and create new processes or refine processes. And key is they want to do it differently. So this person is usually the person who will stand out and go, nah, I'm going to do it my way. So create that new thing of doing it. So they're seeking unique ways because they can easily see the ways that have been done before that to them is not as interesting. They want to seek that new expression. What's that next frontier of expression? And when we say expression, it doesn't mean like purely self-expression. That is a very important aspect to these people. Can also be like, creating a new business system. It can be, finding a new way to put together those numbers in accounting. It could be, trying a new path to go to work. They're always seeking new ways. So they're always in the process of creation. So rather than being driven by profitability or grand like schemes and stuff like that, this is what they're drawn by. They're drawn by, oh, let's try that. Let's create that. What's going to happen? This deep curiosity. And it's a bonus. So if they happen to create something that does create that income, that does create that wealth, then that to them is like a bonus. It's like, great, now I can get to create more of what I want to create in my own way. So if you think of artists or actors, who will take on big roles of creation. So, the Hollywood movies or something like that, so that they can, bonus, now I get to create all these different little projects that I really, really am filled by. So this is also something that they need to be aware of as well. So if they get stuck in the endless process or the shiny light syndrome, which can happen with a lot of creatives, they have all these ideas, so that can lead them to dilute their energy a lot. And so, or if they get brought into a project that doesn't actually fill them with joy, then they will find themselves going down this spiral of either, the overwhelmed spiral of like, oh my god, there's and they don't actually create anything, or they get stuck in this, another's vision. And since these people want to do things, they need to do things themselves, in their own vision. If they get stuck in another person's vision that doesn't actually give them anything, then that is going to lead to depression, to overwhelm, to a sense of dread for these people. It's like a living hell. I know that, it's in my chart. So they can also be seen as like that headstrong, like, oh, why do you have to do it that way kind of person as well, because they have to do it their own way. So one of the reasons for this is because during that journey of creation, during that journey of like experimentation and curiosity, that's when they receive their aha moments. So if they're not in the process, and this is a lot of the Jungian archetype, their core motivation as well, like this person wants to engage and be in the process of that creation. So that's where they receive the biggest benefit. So this is the same for this gate. They receive the biggest and greatest pleasures when they are actually moving towards like, oh, that's cool, that's cool, that's cool. So this can also mean that they can appear aloof or closed off. So because they're constantly, doing other things. So being aware that like this can happen to other people around you, they kind of go, are you paying me any attention? It's because they're just in the process of creation. So this is something that everyone can be aware of. And they must also be aware that there's an ebb and flow of creation as well. So this person, this gate, can have a massive like energy output to complete a creation because they're sparked by motivation, or they have that aha moment. They suddenly go, poof, and they just create. However, obviously on the offset of that, the balance is that there's going to be that downtime. They're going to go into like, actually, no, I don't want to do anything right now. So, and that's typical when you think of creative people around you, that's typical. They'll go in this like massive release and like won't stop painting, won't stop doing whatever they do for a certain period of time. And then you won't see them. They will just like go, oh, I haven't touched that for months, whatever. It's because like it requires so much energy and that creation output that it's almost like following the ebb and flow of the river. So really it's just being aware of that. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not like, oh my God, I've gone into that cycle, or oh my God, I've gone into that cycle. Like yesterday I felt amazing and so motivated. Now I'm like, it's just being aware of that and allowing yourself to flow organically through that. So it's not, there's no need to force through those times when you lull into silent contemplation, when you feel sad or that depressive energy, that constriction of energy that comes when you don't feel like you're creating. That's perfect, because that is almost like you're cocooning for that period of creation. And it's also in those moments as well that you're able to sit back and observe. So creators are great observers, because that's what we're going to be creating for. So these times of low energy allow us to sit back and observe, and allow us to create the mental and energetic space to make that next, creation mode incredible. So if we didn't have that balance, then we kind of just burn out really quickly. So being aware that, creative people can feel that numbness, and especially if you've got this gate present. So it's not oh my God, I'm going to this, cool, this is just a period. So allowing yourself space, and if you know someone like this, allowing them space, there's nothing wrong with that. So throughout their life, they want to awaken the inner power to develop the highest form of self. So to this gate, to this person, there is no mistakes. Everything's just a continual process of creation, which is great, because they're entering with that real curiosity and play of, what is that? So if you think of, I'm an artist myself, I've got a lot of creative in me. So one of the things that I love to do is, and I chose deliberately, was to I love painting with watercolors and ink. And one of the reasons why I love that is because they are completely unapologetic. If you can't just wipe it off, you can't paint over it. So there is no mistakes in that. So if something happens and I go, oh, that's interesting, wonder what characteristic is going to evolve from that. It's the trusting the process that we hear a lot. So these people know that they're going to be successful. It's just a matter of when they let go of the how, because everything is perfect. It's like, Bob Ross, like happy little mistakes, happy little accidents, which we love. So success will come for them truly when they surrender. So when they surrender in deep trust to who they are, to their, quirky little curiosities, and to the universe. So whatever that means to you, I know that can be easier said than done. So, and also this is something that we work through when people have a full reading with us and engage in our programs and all that kind of stuff. This is the type of thing that we work through. So this is a single gate. When you have your entire profile and your unique strategy and design handed to you through the Holistic Design method, you will be handed the roadmap to dive into your life with incredible flow and ease, and into business as well. So if you're feeling the call to like, oh my God, this is so me, I want to dive deeper into this, then contact us, DM us, we'll put the details below. So once they find that they love and feel confident in their full self-expression, they'll create things that endure through time with great success. So when you think of the great creators, like they are fully themselves. So this person is full in their self-expression. They're often unapologetically themselves. And that's what creates that memorance through history, right? That great art, those great art pieces, those great companies, those great, all those, people, you remember them for being them. This is very core to this personality type. So they're also able to tap into their intuitive abilities when they surrender to the universe. So that allows you to follow that spark, right? So this is a very big thing about like they're following the spark of their curiosity and creation. Because that will lay the foundations in the preparation. As I said before, there is no mistakes in this gate. This gate doesn't make mistakes. So every single step is simply laying another level of foundation for their inevitable success. So once they surrender to that, they're able to just glide through that rather than feeling that force or that stop-start. So allowing that flow to happen is when that's going to happen. So whether they are famous, whether they make the big time, or whether they, are really content in creating at their home, they must be aware that they're creating something from their heart. Because if that doesn't happen, then that's when they're going to fall into shadow and create that living death for themselves. So likewise, they need to be aware that, if they're just endlessly creating, that they will create that burnout, or if they're just like, oh my God, that shiny object syndrome, that they can become alienated from those around them as well. So this person, when they are in alignment, when they are really creating in a way that is going to make incredible impact, they realize that collaboration is incredibly important to their existence. So they're creating collaborations with key people. So they realize that even though they are happy to create on their own, they're happy to just create at home and whatever that is, they realize that if they're going to be creating projects of like that will endure through history, that they need the resources of others. And they're very strategic in how they can create those partnerships and collaborations in order to access the different resources from everyone else around them, so that they can actually create. So they're not just able to envision and create something for themselves. They're able to envision how everything can potentially go together and borrow from that. And as we said before as well, this person is not necessarily driven by profitability. They're driven by the creation and the vision. So they're happy to go, yeah, cool, I can create if I can create this and you give me the resources to create this, yeah, you can put your name in it. So they're happy to do that. And so that they can simply create with joy. Okay. So in terms of personal style, this person is quirky in how they appear. So they're a creator. They're also slightly more authoritative in how they appear. They're not a full creative in the sense as they're clownish. They're not clownish. They're not they're not full on, they don't have innocent in their profile, so they're more creative and the authoritative archetypes with them as well, because these people are seemingly more interested in what they're creating than what they look like to others. However, they also put themselves in a place where they can orchestrate as well. So they believe that, like in any creative, so what they're wearing is a deep expression to self. So I'm just going to share screen and we can have a look. So what they wear is a deep expression of self, and they tend to be more masculine in how they wear it. And as I said before, they don't tend to wear the lighter color scheme, so they tend to be darker colors with that pops of bright, and they also tend to be more masculine in their silhouette. So their textures, however, can vary. So this person is more interested in their self-expression and their expression of authority as well, so that they can just go with what they get, than what someone else is thinking about them. So this is their self-expression. They're not so much considering the impact of what their audience perception would be. This is more interested in them. So they're a bit more self-centered in that sense, I guess, which is fine. So, and then they tend to be more masculine because they are more interested in their self-expression, and as well as what they are in the process of creating, it tends to allow for that slightly more minimalistic outfit creation. So each of these outfits, for example, isn't overly complicated. However, the pieces that they choose with that are going to be bolder or brighter, with a dark edge to it. So they don't tend to be overly light in their color scheme, depending on what archetype mix it is. This is like focusing on gate number 1. This is what we've created from this. So as you can see, like their textures can vary. It doesn't go too soft into the texture. However, there can be some light textures there because they're curious. They're curious about how this texture is going to influence it. And this person is also very much so aware that even though they don't necessarily care about the perception of others, they do not want to be lumped in with anyone else. This person is an individual. This person is like, I am different from you guys. I will be recognized in my difference. And this is where also that authoritative aspect can come in. They can have kind of rebellish undertones because they will seemingly be unapologetic about not following any of the trends. Again, this is because the creator, they're more interested, they'll borrow from the trends, they'll certainly look at the trends and go, that's interesting, and then they'll put their own spin on it. However, when it comes to the construction of it, they're not so interested in the rebellish as more of their self-expression. So they're not directly rebelling against society or rebelling against the people around them. They are simply showing that they are different from everyone else around them. This is very, very powerful though. So they tend to not wear small prints, again, because they're bold. So they'll wear those larger, quirkier style of prints that are easy to be seen if they are having a pattern on. Otherwise, they'll go for block colors. They tend to go towards the darker aspects, as I said. However, depending on what their color palette is, it could be anything. They just wear the blues and the greens. It could be anything. It just needs to be bold, solid, unapologetic color or shape. They will also experiment slightly with the silhouette of the overall thing. However, they will tend to be masculine, as I said. So, and they may also just juxtapose some situations as well with this, how they're creating their outfits as well. So as you can see here, like each of these, they're all masculine silhouettes. So they're all masculine or into the queen silhouette, which is again a masculine form silhouette. And it doesn't offer a soft shadow or soft edge line. So what's going to be created is a strength of character, a strength of like individuality in this person. What else? What else? What else? And you can also see that each is, even though they seemingly look like sometimes, oh, I just chuck this on, each is quite curated. Quite curated. This person is creating a database of creation and how they feel and how they were expressing themselves in their head. So even though it may seem like, oh yeah, I'm just chucking this on, super grungy, and everything is very thought out with this person. They're experimenting constantly, curiosity all the time. Anything else to share on this one? So yeah, so with the textures, everything else, they tend to be in the middle. Likewise, even with the masculine silhouette, they can go into some of those feminine aspects as well, just to try it out. However, these people will be more comfortable in the masculine, in that authoritative aspect. Okay, so this is gate number 1, which is the creator. It's an incredible, powerful gate. And I will be doing a video as well, which I'll be uploading, that will be about what this means as my Pluto, and also share about how you can start looking at your Pluto with regards to connecting with your niche audience. So I'm Matilda Morgan, this is Expansive Direction, and this is Holistic Design. Have fun. Mwah.